in the blue tops and in the gray pants. And we'll take a look at the defensive alignment for Stanford in the outfield from left to right. It's Marsh, Bates, and Reynolds. Left side of the infield is Haskins and Becerra, Natai and Sasaki on the right side of the infield. And it's Saum behind the dish doing the catching here this afternoon for the left-hander, Christian Lim. He got off to a great start to his 2025 campaign, Alejandro, but he has struggled over his last couple of outings.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Christian Lim, who was last year Pac-12 All-Conference as a freshman, a dominant force for this Cardinal team, Baseball American freshman, All-American second team in 2024 as well. So this is a guy that we know at some point can get in rhythm. Had a 4.32 ERA last season. Right now, again, as you mentioned, 7.13 to start this year, and a 1-2 record after starting 1-0. Has lost his last 2 starts. So you're gonna have to see Christian Lim try to find himself, get back in rhythm versus a heavy-hitting team like Duke and the Blue Devils. And then again, right behind him, Charlie Saum, who's catching for the Cardinals. He was the one who got the big home run in that 6th inning that got the scoring started for the Cardinal, which was a very slow start. You don't expect them to have that again throughout this series. So that's where Duke, the pressure is on them. Can they get the bats woken up? And then that puts the pressure on the Cardinal, something that they haven't faced too much this year. The Cardinal, if they lead at any point in a game, they have yet to lose.
That's a pretty good stat right there.
That's one that I think I'm quite okay with if I'm a coach right there.
I like that one for the Cardinal. Christian Lim taking his warm-up tosses right now, trying to get back on track. Has not gone more than 5 innings in a start since his 2025 debut at Cal State Fullerton, where he tossed 6 hitless innings. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts in that game, but since then he has allowed 14 runs over his last 3 starts. Has not gone more than 5 innings, which he did at home on March 1st against Xavier. But he got the start in North Carolina in Game 2, gave up 5 runs, took the loss, the only loss Stanford took in that 3-game series.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. He just has to kind of settle into his own game. He knows who he is as a pitcher, so he can't start overthinking about the previous matchups and how he's performed since. Right now, it's him versus whoever's at the plate for the Blue Devils.
And that's going to be Wallace Clark leading it off for Duke, the shortstop for the Blue Devils, who have not won a game away from home this season. This is their first road trip of the year, just their 3rd road game of the season. Looking to find success away from home. Christian Lim is ready, third base side of the slab. And our first pitch of the ball game at 2:06, fastball up and away for ball 1. It's 61 degrees here on the farm. No real threat of rain for the remainder of this weekend. Let's knock on some wood there. And the 1-0 pitch is a fastball that misses outside. And the count 2 balls and no strikes on Wallace Clark.
Yeah, beautiful look for the rest of the series, which has really been dealing with some weather throughout the whole entire week. You were worried that it could affect this weekend, but is now clearing up just in time for this ACC matchup.
Sent up the middle. Behind second was the second baseman, Natai. His throw on to first base is in time. And so a good start for Lim. 3 pitches, and he's got 1 out.
Good pitch, low into the zone, forcing him to try to make a play on it. Again, it was too good of an opportunity to pass up for Clark. Just grounding that one right down the middle. Not enough speed on it to get it right through the little gap. So a nice play made out at first.
Brings up the second baseman, Jake Berger. He's a left-handed hitter. Berger on the season batting at .290. 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in.
This is one thing you're going to notice about this Duke team. A lot of grad students and transfers on this team, Berger being one of them from Harvard. So Duke has a lot of new faces on this team. Again, the 2024 ACC champions with a lot of new faces this year.
First one misses inside from Lim, and I guess they're going to say it hit him. Our home plate umpire, A.J. Lastaglio, making the call. He says that that one ran in tight. It didn't really react at all, did Berger. And Coach Esker is coming out of the dugout. He wants a little bit of an explanation.
Well, maybe he didn't react to it too much because Duke is so used to being walked this season. 132 walks so far. That marks 5th in the country in the NCAA. So they're known to get on base by any means necessary. As he's still having a discussion right now with the coach.
I think also part of it could be Berger didn't really make an effort to get out of the way, but that's a tough one because it's going right on the hands. His hands were starting to go through the zone as he was loading up, so there's not a whole lot Berger could do in that situation.
Yes, sometimes you can't overthink it, you know. In the end, that was a quick pitch. Sometimes it's just a little too hard to react to last minute, and it did just chip him right on the edge of the hand right there. It wasn't like he leaned in to get hit, and it looks like they're going to hold with the call.
So Esker walks back to the dugout. That means Berger's aboard, first base runner of the game via the hit by pitch, and that brings up the ever dangerous third baseman for Duke, and Ben Miller.
Another transfer from the University of Pennsylvania, a grad student for the Blue Devils, batting at a .296 average and has 10 home runs on the season. We're talking about a heavy home running team in the Blue Devils. He's the main reason why.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch. Lim pulled the string on a changeup. Got him out in front. It's 0-1. 10th in the country in home runs for Duke. Again, they did not hit one last night. 5th in the country in walks. They're top 40 in runs scored, on base percentage, and slugging percentage this year. 0-1. Flutters outside, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
The biggest thing for Ben Miller is not to put any extra pressure on himself just because they didn't get a home run in the last game. Don't try to force it either. Let the pitches come to you. He has 14 strikeouts on the year. He could be a little aggressive swinging the bat. Has to be disciplined.
Kicks and throws over to first base to keep Berger honest. Berger has 3 steals on the season.
And that's the thing about this Duke team as well. Just kind of average in the middle of the ACC on stolen bases, so nothing too dangerous, but it still does pose a threat when you have a runner on first.
How much was it?
Lim one peak, his 1-1. Catches the bottom of the zone with a fastball, and he's in the driver's seat now ahead on Miller, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's going to be the biggest thing here for Lim is if he wants to be successful, to get ahead on the counts. Put yourself in good situations where it applies the pressure to the batter now.
I know it's turning into quite an industry, to put it mildly. Okay, thank you.
Lim readies his 1-2, is lined to third, snagged by Haskins. He whips it across to first base, but not in time as Berger got back. So a line out to third base, an atom ball right at Trevor Haskins, and a big second out to get, especially retiring Miller.
Sometimes it's just unfortunate luck. You get good contact on the ball, get it right on the barrel, but sometimes it just goes directly to someone in the perfect spot, and that's just one of those unfortunate cases right there for Miller.
Brings up the left fielder Tyler Albright with 2 down, a man on first. Nothing on the scoreboard yet between Duke and 18th ranked Stanford. Game 2 of the series. Stanford looking for a series win on this Saturday afternoon.
This could be Duke's first win against a ranked opponent. Stanford ranking 18th in the nation right now. Albright has the second best average on the team too with .344. So another dangerous hitter cleaning up for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, a lot of guys up and down this lineup for Duke who can really put a charge into one. Everyone in the starting 9 today with at least 2 home runs. Miller with the 10 to lead the way. And all but one player, that's Andrew Yu, with at least 10 runs batted in. First pitch, catches the outside corner with a fastball.
Good first pitch, a couple pitches now in a row where he gets a strike right into the edge of the zone. That's how you find your rhythm.
Albright, 4 homers, 13 RBIs. And Lim throws back over to first base.
Lim decided to be patient with it. That's already 2 tests that he did at first. That means he probably wanted to pull out of the pitch that he had. Maybe didn't like what he saw.
Wants to go through the signs again. Reaches an agreement with Sohm. And he'll throw over to first yet again. 3 in a row.
Maybe had a last second decision again. Wanted to choose another one.
Infield is shifted for Stanford. Back behind second is the second baseman, Natai, and that one's lofted into shallow left field. Marsh is hustling in. He's going to get there, make the catch, and the side is retired. So Berger was hit by a pitch, but nothing else going on for the Duke Blue Devils. We head to the home half of the first. Stanford's first crack at it when we come on back. Stanford and Duke on ACC Network. Home half of the first inning after Duke kept off the scoreboard in the first. It's Andrew Healy on the mound going through his warm-up tosses for Duke. And Stanford will counter with Trevor Haskins in the box first as the Card. They'll line up like this today. Trevor Haskins will lead it off at third. Brandon Larson, the designated hitter. Rentaro Sasaki once again in the 3-hole. He's at first base. Charlie Somm behind the dish catching. Jimmy Natai bats fifth playing second. Brady Reynolds in right. Timo Becerra's in the 7-hole, and he's at shortstop. Charlie Bates in center at 8. And Tatum Marsh will round out the lineup in left field with Christian Lim doing the pitching, not the hitting here today. So Andrew Healy on the mound for Duke. He's 1-1 with a 7.27 ERA. And Alejandro, you mentioned it in the opening, how Duke kind of went with a bullpen game yesterday. Healy also has not thrown a lot of innings this season despite being in the rotation.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that it's going to be a little bit more pressure on Healy, so maybe some unexpected things from Duke this game where they try to trust Healy more. It's going to be a tough first matchup already going up against Haskins, batting at a 322 on the year, 18 RBIs. I know no run about it, no runners on base, so that's not too much of a threat, but also the team leader in home runs with 5.
First one from Healy missed low, 1 ball and no strikes to Haskins, the senior out of San Jose, Valley Christian product. Working quickly is Healy, and that one is skied on the right side of the infield. Jogging in is Hyde. He's right in the base path off the bag at first, makes the catch, and 2 pitches in, Healy's got the first out.
Yep, late and under on that one, so just not the swing that Haskins would have wanted. It was a pitch in the zone, but just got a little too under that one. That just skies out.
Here's Brandon Larson, the designated hitter. He was 1 for 5 in last night's game 1 of the series. Struck out once, did have an RBI. And the first pitch, that one misses downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. He got Stanford on the board. RBI single to left center that scored Timo Becerra in the 5th, leveled the game at 1, and Stanford added on 4 runs in the 6th. Lefty on lefty matchup, he takes a breaking ball for a strike on the inner half. It's 1-1.
Yeah, the transfer from UC San Diego. Played 1 season there back in 2023. And he was a big factor there. He helped guide them to a Big West championship.
Infield shift is on as Larson takes a strike. The third baseman, Miller, started the first couple of pitches at third and now is over in what is more of a traditional second base position with Berger, the second baseman, in shallow right. That's in on the hands, and that got a piece of Larson.
Little right back at you moment right there. Now another runner walks, second one in the lineup for the Cardinal. Just like the same case that it was for the Blue Devils in their first at bat.
Dangerous to get him right in on the hands as we maybe get a second look at it. Not a lot of reaction time for Larson to get out of the way, and there's just so many small bones in the hands and the fingers that those are the injuries that really can set you back for a while.
Yeah, those are the most dangerous ones right there. Anything to the shoulder, to the arm, that's where you do have most of the muscle or anything that could kind of just leave a big bruise. But when you get the hand, there's not too much protection for that besides the gloves that are covering it. Now that fastball just got a little out of control for Healy. Couldn't get it down in time. So hopefully the best case for the Cardinals is that Larson's still able to run, and looks like he will be.
Yep, so Larson will stay in the game. That's a good sign for Stanford. And now Rentaro Sasaki strides up to the plate for the first time today. Sasaki 1 for 4 last night. Had an RBI single in the 6th inning. The final run of the game. Lefty on lefty matchup here for the freshman, and he takes down and away for a ball.
Yeah, if you've been following the Cardinal, then you know a lot about Sasaki already from Hanamaki Higashaki High School. The same high school that produced Shohei Ohtani in Japan.
And a lot of hype around this freshman sensation, but still looking for his first home run on the farm. He was going for it there. He swings and misses, chase one out of the zone.
Yeah, no kidding. We're talking about a player who had 140 career home runs, which set a Japanese high school record. Just dominant. He's trying to carry that over now to the Sunken Diamond.
1-1 is upstairs with the fastball, and Sasaki actually hitting better on the season. It's early, but hitting better on the year against lefties. 5 hits and 14 at-bats, a .357 average. He's hitting an even 300 against righties. And he fouls one straight back. Got a hanger and just missed it. Evens the count up at 2-2.
And not something typical that you see. I mean, a left-handed hitter be so successful against the left-handers.
No, I know I was not against lefties. As a former lefty myself, when I had to face a left-handed pitcher, the advantage was to the pitcher. Every single time is an inside-out swing. It's blooping down the left field line, but that's going to land foul and over by the Duke bullpen.
Just hear a sigh from you every single time you came out and there was a left-handed pitcher at the mound. Just,
yeah, it was not good. And you know, honestly, I didn't even like facing left-handed hitters either when I was pitching. I was weird. I always wanted the righties.
Interesting. A left-handed that just has something at it against.
Yeah, it was just weird. 2-2 pitch. Sasaki got a fastball. Late swing. Fouled it down the left field line.
A little late to that fastball, but he's establishing contact now. 2 hits in a row. Again, those are also 2 hits going to the left side. If he's able to control it, that left side is wide open. As you mentioned, the third baseman all the way out to the middle almost with Miller.
Here's another 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball, stays high, and that runs the count full 3-2. Great battle here between Healy and Sasaki.
That's a really good take right there. Dropped in very close to the zone, but good patience and discipline from the freshman already.
And Cardinal dugout was hollering the Duke dugout was hollering, and I don't think Sasaki got in the batter's box in time, and so he's going to be called out. That's a 3rd strike, and so the at-bat's over. Sasaki hasn't fully left yet. He doesn't really believe it, and now Coach Esker coming back out again.
Having a discussion right now, that'd be a rough way to end your at-bat, your first one. Especially with the way you just established contact and good discipline in those last 3 pitches.
Where you got to be in the box and ready to go. I think it's at 13 seconds, and I don't know if Sasaki had called timeout, and that might be what he's trying to plead with AJ Lasaglio, our home plate umpire.
It's also something that isn't reviewed by officials, so you don't know if they can really overturn this. In the end, it's just kind of by one stop versus the other. And if the umpire already has his mind set on it, then there's no convincing him otherwise. Here comes the second opinion.
Yeah, coming down from third is Adam Dowdy. Looks like he's not needed. So Sasaki will walk back to the dugout, dejected after the pitch clock violation going against him. It triggers the 3rd strike. And that'll bring up Charlie Song with 2 down.
That's a rough way to get your second out here in the bottom of the 1st. But now you're going with the cleanup hitter, the man who got the home run, the big one in the 6th inning just last night. He's looking to carry over that momentum.
Runner at first base, 2 down. Healy delivers, skips it in the dirt. Psalm's home run came in the 6th inning last night. A solo shot put Stanford in front, his 4th of the season, and extends the home run streak for Stanford. The Card is now homered in 15 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about the Blue Devils all the time, right, being a big home run hitting team, but the Cardinal have been efficient in their last few games. They don't get multiple home run hit games, but they're able to chip one every now and then.
Pulling the string, Healy with a changeup. Got Psalm out in front, 1 ball and 1 strike. Psalm overall in the year batting at .259, 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. 1-1, swings and misses. Another good one tailing away, 1-2.
He was trying to get all of that one too, but a good pitch dropping right into the end of the zone last second.
Runner from first goes, inside out swing. It's a soft pop right towards second, and Berger gets back, makes the play, and ends the inning. So both teams strand a runner at first base who was hit by a pitch, and we make our way to the second. Scoreless here on the farm. Upstairs second here at Klein Field at Sunken Diamond. Duke 0, Stanford 0. Christian Lim back to work as he finishes his warm-up tosses. He'll face Hyde, Yu, and Gracia this inning for Duke. Both teams leaving runners on base in the first, but neither team with a hit yet. Both teams having batters hit by a pitch in the first frame. Jake Hyde will lead it off for Duke. He's the first baseman for the Blue Devils.
It's essential for the Blue Devils to get a big inning at some point early on, but not just a one-run lead like they had yesterday. They want to extend it further, put more pressure on the Cardinal to try to mount back. The Cardinal have had 6 come from behind victories, including last night's where they were down 1-0 going into the middle of the game.
First pitch is fouled back by Hyde, a 205 hitter with 2 home runs and 12 runs batted in. You're talking about big innings for Duke and what they've been able to do this season. A lot of innings in which they're able to score at least 3 per, as that one is sent through the hole on the right side. And a base hit, our first of the game, comes off the left-handed bat of Jake Hyde.
Great contact, great spot, and a great start for the leadoff hitter for Duke. It's exactly the start that you wanted. Christian Lim was being aggressive in that first inning, and I think they caught on a little bit there.
Kind of close the book on that number. When Duke scores at least 3 or more runs in an inning, going back to 2016, an .821 win percentage, 225 and 49. So one big inning can call a game, and that's what it was last night, but that big inning came for the Card. 4 runs in the 6th.
Yeah, that's a statistic that's going to stay true for a lot of teams. If you could get, as it's a strong hit by the pitch right there.
Yeah, ran the fastball inside, and Andrew Yu is aboard, and very quickly now, 2 on, nobody out for Duke.
Another pitch out of control, and that's not a great showing right now for Lim. He wants to tune back up a little bit at the mound. He's already put himself in a tough position with a runner now in scoring position.
It's a bit of a troubling trend for Lim so far this season. He's now hit 8 batters in this, his 5th start, and he's hit at least 1 batter in all 5 starts. Brings up center fielder A.J. Gracia. Lefty on lefty matchup, 2 on, nobody out. And the first pitch catches the outside corner with a fastball. Good spot.
Yeah, A.J. Gracias, freshman All-American first team last year. The sophomore trying to get on track this year, batting at a 167 average. He broke the freshman home run record with 14 last year and the freshman RBI record with 58.
A 1 pitch off the end of the bat, lifted foul and back behind the grandstand's left side.
So a hitter that you know at some point, sooner or later, he's going to find his rhythm again this year. For the Cardinal, you just hope it isn't this game.
Yeah, this game or this series. Gracia was hitless last night with a walk. Just 4 hits for Duke last night. Fastball fouled straight back. A combination of Scott, Trevor Moore, and Aiden Keenan holding the Duke bats at bay.
And there were 4 hits, but 3 of them were pretty big. 2 doubles and a triple last night. So that means there were runners in scoring position with possible scoring opportunities, and they just couldn't capitalize on it. So now it's the clutch hitting for the Blue Devils. Can they capitalize this time around?
0-2 offering by Lim. Fastball upstairs, and Gracia lays off.
Throwing a lot of pitches inside to the batter. Has to try to find his spots in the zone.
Lim kicks his 1-2. Breaking ball stays away. Trying to get Gracia to fish. He's not doing it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gracia, even though he's batting just 158 on the season, he is a 300 hitter with runners in scoring position. So he has had success in these types of spots.
Expect nothing less from someone who broke the record last season.
Yeah, a lot of talent in this young man. Grounded to short. Could be 2. Becerra to Nadai for 1 on to first. Double play. 6-4-3. Just what the doctor ordered for Christian Lim.
And we're just talking about a lot of talent. That's just not the hit you would have liked in that situation. They get the force out at second, and then able to get over to first in time as well. And that changes the complexion of this entire inning for Lim, where he had a lot of pressure with no outs and a runner on second and first. Now there's a runner on third, but 2 outs, so a sacrifice fly isn't a play either.
So Macon Winslow, the one going to have to try and drive home that run from third. With 2 down now. And the first pitch by Lim in the dirt. Bounce down there, Saw makes the stop.
Yeah, with 2 outs, Winslow doesn't have too many options except getting an actual hit off in this moment.
Christian Lim from Nashville, Tennessee. Second season in the Stanford starting rotation. 1-0 is in there for a strike. Finished last year 4-6 with a 4.32 earned run average. Had a lot of success in the middle of the year, and it kind of ran out of steam a little bit as the year went on. You know, the length of your first college season starts to wear on your arm a little bit. That one misses outside. It's 2-1. It was a very young rotation last year for the Card, and virtually everybody on that pitching staff back again here this season.
And that's the biggest thing now. They have experience this year, and you could tell early on in the season it's leading to their success.
98% of the innings pitched last season for Stanford back, and 78% of the at-bats. A stark contrast from what it was going into the 24 season when Stanford only returned 30% of its innings pitched.
Yeah, that 2023 season drained them of a lot of players, a lot to the MLB draft, others just graduating and moving on. And that led to that rough 2024 season, but now back at it again with guys who are returning with experience. And then not only that too, it's when you bring in freshman players who are ready to play now.
Christian Lim, one of those guys right now, trying to get out of this jam. Runner at third, 2 down. And the payoff pitch in the dirt. No swing by Macon Winslow, and he'll reach base via the walk. No surprise.
Third walk now for Lim. He's already hit 2 batters with the pitch, and now this is the first time that he walked in a full count opportunity. So he's doing a great job not letting too many hits get off, but there are runners getting on base, and now Kyle Johnson, the 2-way, has an opportunity to cash someone in.
And Johnson getting the start in right field today. A 205 hitter. But you mentioned it. He's a 2-way guy. You don't see a whole lot of those. At least a whole lot of them who can do it successfully.
Yeah, first 2-way player since Marcus Stroman for Duke, earning freshman All-American honors as a utility player in the All-ACC Awards.
First one misses down and in. I think it worked out pretty well for Stroman as a pitcher.
Oh, I think so too. I would be definitely inclined to agree with that one. Appeared in 12 starts on the mound. Had 34 starts as well in total.
1-0. It catches the inside corner. Good spot for it too, right at the knees, and it evens it up at 1-1. And Johnson has made 4 starts already, 5 appearances on the mound for Duke this season. Trying to keep this inning alive for the Blue Devils. Runners on the corners. 1-1. Tails down and away. 2 balls and a strike.
Perfect hit right now would be an opposite field. Right into that gap. You can see second baseman has shifted all the way over almost to the middle in his lineup.
Yeah, that's Natai over there near second. Hugging the line at third is Haskins. And the 2-1 popped up. Foul back out of play.
That was a pitch into the zone, so just stay alive for Johnson. It's all right. You feel confident. You got some contact right there. Now, how can you build off of that? It's a chess match every single time between a pitcher and a hitter.
Lim with that Duke blue glove. 2-2 pitch. Lofted, shallow right field. Natai out, Reynolds in. Reynolds will call him off. He's under it. He makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So 3 runners were aboard, 2 runners left for Duke. They don't score in the second. We head to the bottom half. It's Duke and Stanford, still scoreless. 5, 6, and 7 for Stanford here in the bottom of the second inning. It's Duke nothing and Stanford nothing. Jimmy Natai will open it up for the Card. Natai, Reynolds, and Becerra on what is a very busy Saturday afternoon and a busy weekend on the farm. A lot of different sports in action all around here, this athletics zone that we have here on the beautiful Stanford campus. Stanford softball going on next door at Stanford Stadium, which is really cool to see,
Yeah, it's
have
been
to admit.
Busy week for Stanford Athletics. You have softball going on. They're dominant in their ACC debut as well. And then you have the Stanford Cardinal basketball team who compete in the ACC tournament as well. As we get close to March Madness in that sport.
Lacrosse going on next door, beach volleyball going on next door. We have men's gymnastics going on. We had women's gymnastics. One of those things where if Stanford has it, they're probably playing this weekend. First pitch charge, Natai out towards left center field. Get out of here, baseball! Jimmy Natai leaves the yard in a hurry. A line drive shot to left center, his third homer of the year, and Stanford strikes first. It's 1-0.
Aggressive on the early pitches for Natai. Gets his third. And that's a great leadoff hit now for the Cardinal to start some momentum here in the bottom of the second.
Fastball center cut, and there was absolutely no doubt when that one left. You saw Albrighton left. He kind of turned. He didn't really chase that one much.
No, that you can hear it off of the sound of the bat sometimes. You just know when it's gone.
And now taking one right between the numbers on the backside is Brady Reynolds.
You can see Healy look at his hand right after that throw. Feels like he kind of lost grip of that one. Second time he's hit a batter now at the mound. And that's not great to do right after you just gave up a home run as well.
Now, the optics don't look good, but you're right. He looked right at the hand. It was an off-speed pitch. There was nothing intentional about that at all. And that brings up Timo Becerra with a man on first, nobody out, and Stanford now leading at 1-0.
They bring up a hitter with a .339 average on the year. Looking to carry the momentum.
He shows bunt, gets it down third base side. Fielding it is Miller with the glove, throws on the run to first in time for the out. So a sacrifice bunt for the Cardinal, and it puts a runner in scoring position with one out.
Yeah, sacrifice bunt that you couldn't have done any better than he just did right there. It dies off perfectly on the third base line. Almost made the sprint too. Close call at first. But he will get out, but advances the runner to second and into scoring position. And this sets up Charlie Bates, who's coming up to the plate. Has only 3 RBIs on the year, but with a chance to make it 4 with a good hit.
Another lefty-on-lefty matchup as Healy goes back to second. It's kind of a contrast between these two teams. That's now the 8th sacrifice bunt on the year for Stanford. And Duke has only laid down 2 this season. Long live the bunt on the farm.
They're keeping the art of it alive.
On the ground towards the right side. Berger has it, and no one gets back to first base to cover. Bates reaches base safely. It was in that 3-4 hole on the right side. Berger gloved it, and then Hyde and Healy both kind of looked at each other like, who's going to take the bag? Nobody did.
That's a big time error right there, because you could have had a situation where, yeah, the runner advances to third, but it's 2 outs in the inning. Now you have runners at the corners with only 1 out. And Tatum Marsh has a chance here. Even a sacrifice fly into the right spot. And this gets a runner home.
It officially goes in the books as an infield single. And Marsh takes a first pitch strike. It's one of those that you can't really give an error to somebody. It's a mental error on a couple of different players. And I'm sure Charlie Bates will take it. He's aboard. Runners on the corners, and it's 0-1 on Tatum Marsh.
Yeah, we won't list that as an error, just a miscommunication from both sides there. It's a big mistake in this moment.
Marsh 1 for 3 last night. Brought home a run on a bunt in the 6th inning. Runner from first goes. The pitch is inside, and taking second base is Charlie Bates. How about that? Charlie Bates swiping the bag. It's his 3rd stolen base of the season, And guess what? He's the only Cardinal to steal a base
I was
this year.
about to say, the Cardinal have only had 3 stolen bases this year. They're 3 for 10 as a team. All of them going to Bates, and Bates with great efficiency now 3 for 4 on stolen base attempts.
Infield halfway in, the 2-1 is in, and it hits Marsh right on the left foot.
So now you're talking about a situation where you almost got Bates out at first in the first place, right? You would have had a runner out. That's 2 outs now in the inning. Due to the fact that they made that miscommunication, Bates moves over to second. The batter gets hit by a pitch, and now you have a bases loaded situation with only 1 out in the bottom of the second. It looks like Coach Poehler is going to have a word now with Healy.
Yeah,
this is going to the top of the order as well.
Yeah, and a chance for this inning to kind of get out of hand here for Healy a little bit if he's not careful. So we'll have a conference as they try and settle down Healy, who has not gone more than 3 innings in an outing this season. That was in his last start at home against Cal. He went 3 innings, gave up 1 earned run across those 3 through 50 pitches.
Yeah, and Coach Poehler has no intention of taking him out at this moment, it looks like. But he wants to calm down, let him know the situation that they got right now. The best situation, of course, would be what the Cardinal were gifted with in the top of the second, a nice 2-ball. That could be set up a little chopper right to shortstop. They could get a double play off. That could end the inning right now.
So a chance for the inning to explode for Stanford. Trevor Haskins will bat. Second time in as many innings for the senior third baseman for the Cardinal.
Big situation right now for the junior at the mound.
Pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Haskins popped out to first base to open up the home half of the first.
If you're Healy, do not get behind in this count. And he won't do so there, he'll even it up.
Ball on a strike after Haskins took a big hack. It's Reynolds at third, Bates at second, Marsh on first. Outfield playing Haskins to pull towards left center. 1-1, down and in. And a dangerous situation getting even more precarious for Healy.
The pressure continues to rise.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. It scores Reynolds. Here comes Bates. The throw is going to go to third with Marsh going from first to third. And that's a 2-run single for Trevor Haskins. He delivers with the bases loaded. It's a 3 spot in the second for the Card.
It was a dangerous situation anyways when you have the bases loaded with the team leader in RBIs on the year. He picks up 2 more in that at-bat, making it 20 on the year. And what a way to capitalize on the situation for the Cardinal. Still only 1 out and runners at the corners. Going to second in the order here with Larson. He has 10 RBIs on the year as well with a .355 average going into today.
Throw over to first base to keep an eye on Haskins. Larson with 11 RBIs on the season. And he takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Larson has been really good in these spots. He's 6 for 8 with runners in scoring position this year. It's an area Stanford struggled in last year. They've been excellent this year. That's a strike on the outside corner, evens the count up at a ball and a strike.
Keep the count ahead if you're Healy to try to get out of this inning. The biggest mistake that he made last time was the fact that he did get behind the count. He was forced to pitch one into the zone.
Step off, runners going from first base. Now they have Haskins in a rundown. They're keeping an eye over at third base and Marsh. They get the out, they throw it away towards home. Here comes Marsh, he'll get in safely. Haskins does his job with the rundown at first base. Duke with an errant throw coming back. And it's 4-0 Stanford.
Unnecessary too at the moment. That's just where you have to be aware as well. He immediately turned and threw, assuming that the runner from third was cutting home. But in that moment, you just have to be aware of the situation, knowing that if a throw does go errant like that, it sets up the run in that case. Just a nice turn, see, and then throw, besides just reacting.
So the rundown, Haskins was out. There was some initial confusion about whether or not Haskins was safe as he had left, and everyone on the Stanford side was clamoring for him to come back. But meanwhile, it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count with now 2 down, and Larson fouls that one away. Officially, it goes 1-3-6 on the pickoff caught stealing, and then the throwing error by Clark brings home Marsh and makes it a 4-0.
Right
yeah,
there.
seriously. That's a ball and 2 strikes on Brandon Larson. Got him on the outside corner. Fastball, it froze him, and that ends the inning. But Stanford scores 4 runs in the frame, and they get 3 hits while they're at it. And we head to the third. Stanford now leading at 4-0. Top of the third inning here on the farm. It's Stanford 4, Duke nothing. Brian Brownfield here, and let's listen to Alejandro Flores for a few.
Yeah, we're going to switch things up here now for the next 2 innings, as we'll be switching play-by-play and color commentary, as Duke now takes up at the top of the order with Wallace Clark, who grounded out in his first at-bat in the first inning. Has a chance to answer here in the top of the third, where Cardinal have taken the lead 4-0 after that great bottom of the second inning. Christian Lim, his first pitch is going to go low and out of the zone for ball 1.
It'll be so interesting to see how Lim handles this top of the third now, staked with a lead, that ever-important shutdown inning.
And already, not to a start that he wanted, a good hit by Clark out into left field, and that's going to be a leadoff single for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, so early traffic against Lim, not the way you certainly want to start after a 4 spot and having to sit in the dugout for a little bit of time. But keeping Duke off the scoreboard here in the third is such a crucial task for Lim. You want to keep all the momentum on your side, and as a pitcher, you know, you want to still treat this thing like it's a scoreless game. Don't think about the fact that you now have a 4-run advantage.
A second leadoff hit now for the Blue Devils. They got one in the second inning as well. Can they capitalize on this situation, though? That one's going to be popped up in foul territory, hanging, and it'll drop. So it makes the count 0-1. As up to the plate right now is Jake Berger, batting at a .293 on the year, and also second on the team in RBIs with 17. Now, the Blue Devils had a scoring situation in the second inning where they had a runner on second and first with no outs. But a big double play changed the complexion of that inning.
Yeah, that was a huge double play for Christian Lim. 2 on, nobody out, and an Adam Ball 6-4-3, tailor-made, as they say. And, you know, you're right, it changed the complexion of that inning. Even though Duke got another runner aboard, they were not able to capitalize.
The 0-1-2 Burger is high, and he has to dodge that one, as that went close to the head. Lim has already hit a couple of batters by pitch.
Yeah, neither pitcher's afraid to work in this one.
Working close to the edge in a 1-1. As he decides to pull off and throw to first. Christian Lim has done that a couple of times now already in this one as well. Now, the Blue Devils aren't known for stealing bases. They're not one of the top teams in the ACC in that category. But they do have a couple players you have to look out for, as Lim does so again. Christian Lim in a pitch count over 30 at the moment. Here in the top of the third in a 4-0 Cardinal lead. There's that pitch right into the zone for a strike. And it gets him ahead in a 1-2.
I think Berger was looking for something off speed there. His reaction time, the way his hips kind of flinched, it seemed like he was late. That fastball was right down the middle, thigh high, and that's one that I'm sure he'd like to have back.
Lim again, throw to first. Now, Wallace Clark is not a dangerous runner at first. He continues to test him. Has been known for stealing too many bases. Here's the 1-2 from Lim. That one is roped into right field, and that's going to be a nice single for the Blue Devils as they have a runner now on second and first with no outs here in the top of the third.
I want to see Lim pay less attention to the guys on base and focus more on the guy at the plate. I think it's he's distracting himself, I think, unnecessarily, and the location of that breaking ball was just enough over the middle of the plate where Berger was able to, yeah, he was out in front of it, but he was able to still loft it to the right side, find the open grass, and now put Duke again in a position where they have a couple of guys on, nobody out, but this time you have the heart of the order coming up.
And that's the big difference right now. You have a runner on second and first, but this time at the plate, it's Ben Miller, the team leader in home runs with 10 on the year. Has 26 RBIs as well. That's first on the team. He takes that first pitch for a strike. So big opportunity for the transfer grad student Ben Miller to make a big play here for his early Blue Devils career. He's facing an 0-1. Miller. Is that one foul as that goes way off to the right. So it makes it an 0-2 count. He gets behind very early in this one.
And now the entire playbook is open here for Christian Lim with what he can deliver. Do you try and get him to chase a fastball upstairs, breaking ball out of the zone? It looks like Lim's had a good changeup early in this one. I think I would lean changeup and I'd go down and away here.
Instead, that one's going to be rocked into right center field and caught. It's going to advance a runner over 2/3, so runners are going to be at the corner with one out here in the top of the third.
Yeah, so he went fastball up in the zone, trying to get Miller tied up a little bit up and in. It leaked out over the middle of the plate, but fortunately, Miller did not square it up enough. It traveled a long ways out there just shy of the track in right center field, but I'd say Lim dodging a bullet there, missing location, which was supposed to be tighter in, leaked over the center, but Miller wasn't able to capitalize.
A dangerous pitch given to Miller. It died off, though, in the outfield, so that's going to have just runners at the corners. Still a 4-0 game with the Cardinal having the lead off of that big bottom of the second inning.
See if Lim can get another double play ball.
They'll be looking for it against Tyler Albright. And Albright, he's going to sky that one up, piercing the sky, and this is going to get a runner home. Tagging up and scoring. And the Blue Devils are going to get another point here in the early part of a game. As Wallace Clark gets home, it's going to be 4-1. And the Blue Devils trying to chip away.
First pitch breaking ball, not the best location. And again, that's one that Albright, if he had another crack at it, he would have loved to have launched that one into the trees out in left center field, but got underneath it. So Lim dodging a bullet. Duke on the board, but certainly it's not a crooked number yet. You still got to get one more out, but all things considered, you get 2 on, nobody out, and since then you've responded with a couple of outs. That's a nice response for Christian Lim.
Well, for Christian Lim, too, you have to imagine you're probably okay with one run being scored, especially going against some big hitters for the Blue Devils. Instead of those big hits coming up, they sky him out into the outfield. That one's going to be knocked back for a foul. So Lim is ahead of the count again in an 0-1. And that's the one thing that's been working to Lim's advantage so far in this third inning. He has been getting ahead of the counts. Testing the runner on first, to no avail. And that's what you mentioned again, Christian Lim. You want him to focus a little bit more on the plate than the runner. And last time he was focusing a lot on the runner at first. The hit was given up. That one scaves just barely on the outside of the zone. That's going to be a 1-1 count. Up to the plate right now is number 5 in the batting order, Jake Hyde, another transfer grad student. As he swings and misses on that one, it makes it a 1-2 count. Hyde was swinging for the fences there. Christian Lim now at a pitch count of 40. In a 1-2 runner, stealing ahead, and he's going to have to come back as that one goes foul. Hyde batting at a 195 going into this one, 12 RBIs on the year. A transfer from Georgetown where he got second team All Big East honors in 2023. Trying to carry that Big East success now into the ACC. That's a really good take, as that's going to even it up at 2.
I don't know where that pitch missed. It looked like that was belt high, caught the plate. That was going to be a third strike.
I would be inclined to agree there. I was getting ready to have my strikeout call ready at the moment. But instead, now the count's even at 2. With 2 outs, and he tests the runner on first. Again, just trying to hold him disciplined. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A deuces wild pitch upcoming for Lim. Again, throwing over to Berger. That's the 5th time he's gone to first now. In this at bat.
The 2-2 here, I would focus squarely on Hyde. He's not taking a big lead. He did run earlier in this at bat, but he's not going.
He's going to tip that one foul. He stays alive, and the count stays even. So we'll get deuces wild for a second time. Following Hyde will be Andrew Yu. Will be next up in the order if Hyde is able to keep the inning alive here. Again, testing the runner on first. Like you said, Berger showing no signs of going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if he just can't get on the same page as Charlie saw him or what the situation is, but he's been doing a lot of these throws over to first base, and it seems to be taking away from what he's doing at the plate.
So here's the pitch to Hyde. That one going low and missing the zone. The count is now full with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd and a runner on first.
So now Berger will be in motion, so Sasaki will play behind him. You know Berger's going to steal. He's not going to throw over this time. Need your best pitch right here.
The pressure rising for Lim in a full count. That pitch outside of the zone, and that's going to be ball 4. Runner walked. Second walk given up by Lim. And that has a runner now on second and first with Andrew Yu coming up.
I mean, those were 2 pitches back-to-back, the 2-2 and then the 3-2 that both I thought could have been called. The 2-2 one maybe a little low. It would have been a pretty aggressive zone. But that one right there, I thought on the corner, a good-looking spot, and Hyde didn't pull the trigger, but tight zone behind the dish, and now you're going to have to bear down with the tying run at the plate.
Some unfortunate calls for Lim put him in a tough situation again with runners on second and first. So the whole team comes out, has a word with Lim, tries to make sure he's calm, cool, and collected. As Andrew Yu is now up to bat, the senior from Nashville, Tennessee. Last season, he had a career high of 15 RBIs in 2024. That 2024 season was the season that the Blue Devils won the ACC. This year right now, off to a good start with 6 RBIs on the year and a .333 batting average. He's played in 13 games. This is now his 9th start of the season. And first pitch swinging and first pitch chopper. And they're going to get the force out at second. So a bit of a scary situation for Lim, but the Cardinal stands strong, only allowing 1 run there in the top of the 3rd, and they hold a 4-1 lead as we advance to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Welcome to the bottom of the 3rd inning, where the Cardinal have a 4-1 lead over the Duke Blue Devils. Duke was able to put a run on the board in the top of the 3rd, but the Cardinals still holding their lead from that big bottom of the second inning. How can the Cardinal continue that success that they had hitting in that second inning?
Well, I think they need to continue to be aggressive. They're obviously swinging the bats well. They have been all season long. And I think, taking advantage of the mistakes that Healy has presented. We've seen him be all over the zone so far in this game. No reason to suggest that that's going to improve as the game continues. So I would want them to continue to be aggressive, but more than that, just put together quality, solid at-bats 1 through 9.
Well, it's going to start with 3, 4, and 5, as Rintaro Sasaki is going to lead off for the Cardinal. Batting at a .317 on the year. Now, the first time in his at-bat in the first inning, it was a violation due to not being in the hitter box. That time, he almost got hit by the pitches. That one went high and inside for ball 1.
Yeah, so it was 3-2 on Sasaki. He was not ready to hit in time. Pitch clock violation, and he was called out because it triggered a 3rd strike.
Sasaki, though, already off to a good start this time. 2-0 is the count. Still looking for his first home run of the year, the freshman from Japan. That one dies off. And he's going to get put out at first.
Well, he was trying to say that hit him while he was in the box. That's why he stopped running midway up the line. But I'm not really sure. But they're going to talk about this one again. That didn't get him. The only thing that maybe it would have done, I don't know if it hit the bat twice. It didn't hit Sasaki. But in the follow-through, maybe it was tough to tell from that angle. I don't know if it got the bat twice.
That's now twice that Sasaki's going to be out to some controversial conversations with the umpire. Right, some calls that he believed didn't go his way. Either way, that's 1 put away in the bottom of the 3rd. Again, the Blue Devils are sticking with Healy despite that 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 2nd. They have no one else warming up in the bullpen as well, so they're trusting Healy to work through this. And that's what we mentioned. They had a bullpen game yesterday, so they expect Healy to try to last good amount of innings in this one. There's that pitch out of control to the right for ball 1. Charlie Sum up to bat, 4th in the order. He hit the big-time home run in the 6th inning yesterday. That got the momentum going for the Cardinal. He's in a 2-0 count right now. And a swing and a miss for that one to make it 2-1. Off-speed pitch dropped off just in time. That one close to hitting Sum, and that's going to make it a 3-1 count. That's twice now Healy's gotten close to hitting a batter at the plate.
Yeah, and frustrating for a pitcher, too, after you come back with a really good 2-0 pitch, and then your 2-1 is nowhere close.
It makes it 3-1. That one high, pulling back in time is Sum, so he'll be walked. Going to first. And now coming up next is Jim Natty. 283 average from Sydney, Australia. The junior looking to capitalize on this opportunity with only 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And that tie, of course, got Stanford on the board in the 2nd inning with a very quick line drive home run to left center field.
And that was a first pitch swinging for Natai. What's he gonna do on this first pitch? He's gonna watch that one go inside for ball 1. Close again to hitting the batter. So Healy with a couple pitches out of control, and already you can see the bullpen starting to warm up. The 1-0 drops into the zone to even it up at 1-1. As we try to get an eye and see who's warming up in the bullpen right now at the moment. Looks like Ryan Calvert is out there, the grad student for the Blue Devils. He's made 8 appearances. He's going to be warming up in the bullpen.
Right now, Healy's just fighting it. He has not had consistency. Even in that first inning when there was minimal traffic on base, he has not been around the zone as much as he needs to be successful.
It goes to Natai again. He sends that one up and caught. That's going to be a fly ball right into center field as that just died out up in the air. So that's going to be the second out in the bottom of the third inning, with the runner still on first.
Got it right off the end of the bat, did Natai, not able to put the same charge into that one that he did back in the second inning. He was just out in front of it, couldn't square it up.
And got into a tough spot too in center field. Now up to bat, Brady Reynolds, 6th in the batting order. Reynolds, first on the team in batting average with a .364 going into this one, and tied for first in home runs with 5. So in the top in almost every major category for the Cardinal, hitting-wise, and Healy refuses to pitch to him right now. First pitch to Brady. Drops into the zone for a strike. Last time Reynolds was up to bat, he was hit by a pitch. And that advanced him over to first. And Reynolds was able to get home, running the bases. It's a 1-1 count.
Came in on that 2-run single by Trevor Haskins.
That one is going to be chopped and forced out at second. So a bit of a dangerous situation for Healy, but he gets out of the inning unscathed. And it stays 4-1 as the Cardinal hold the lead right now going into the 4th inning. Welcome to the 4th inning here at the Sunken Diamond as the Cardinal have a 4-1 lead over the Blue Devils. Still at the mound is Christian Lim. In this next pitch, he'll get to a pitch count of 50 on the day. And Lim, he's faced some dangerous situations, but have gotten out of them mostly safe, allowing just 1 run so far to this point, 3 hits. But he's walked a couple batters and hit a couple more by pitch. That first pitch swinging and foul.
He's fighting a lot of the same demons that Healy has today. He just hasn't been necessarily comfortable out there, but I think part of that is his own doing. He's been doing a lot of throws over to first base, and it's kind of taken his focus away from what's going on here at the plate. And the difference is when he's had to bear down, he's been able to do so and get the outs that he needs to once guys get on base.
He's going to be facing A.J. Gracias, 7th in the batting order, so he's facing the bottom of the lineup. And he's behind in a 2-1 count.
I mean, Duke's already had 7 at-bats with runners on base, and they've only got 1 hit out of that. So he's been able to bear down and minimize the damage of all that traffic out there.
Gracias in his last at-bat, is that one's going to go chipped foul. In his previous at-bat, he set up the double play in the 2nd inning when Duke had the runner on 2nd and 1st. That was the big double play that changed the entire complexion of that inning, where it looked like Duke might get a point on the board. They were held at nothing. Gracias gets under that one, but it hangs in the air in foul territory, and the catch is made.
Wow.
Sliding grab out in the outfield. What a play by Marsh.
Wow, no kidding. I thought he had a bit of a better beat on it, but it looked like it had a little extra slice at the last second. Reaches out, goes into the slide, crashes into the fence over there by the Duke bullpen. An outstanding play by Marsh.
The struggles continue for Gracias in this series. Hasn't been able to find his rhythm. McCone Winslow, though. He's up to bat, the sophomore, batting at a .260 going into this one. Transferred from Oklahoma in 2023. That goes outside. He's ahead of the count, 2-0. Winslow in his previous at-bat, he was walked. He was one of the runners that was able to get on in the 2nd inning. He's ahead early. Swing and a miss for that one. And it's going to make it 2-1. He tipped it just a little bit. Just one out in the top of the fourth. The Blue Devils looking to chip back into this one as Winslow hits that one foul, and the count now even up at 2. It's a couple foul balls now that have gone back right behind the net.
I saw you at one point try and stick a hand out and make a play on one.
I think that was a bit of a PTSD. Back where I usually used to call games, I was a little bit more vulnerable to foul balls coming my way.
Hey, we've all been there.
The 2-2. They want to check if he swung. He did not, so the count's going to be full.
As long as you're not flinching and thinking it's going to come back and hit you, then you're good. We'll take the reaction of sticking out like you got a glove. That's fine.
Right on my Little League days right there. Here's the full count. Check swing again. He did not go, and that's going to walk Winslow again. So 2 at-bats for Winslow, walked twice. And with 1 out in the top of the fourth, the Blue Devils get a runner on first.
And again, a very tight zone behind the plate, and Christian Lim is just peppering it. He's right there, and I think ones that if you got a pitcher-friendly zone going, those are probably going your way, but Lim going to have to just bring it back in just a little bit more.
Kyle Johnson up to bat, the two-way. As we mentioned before, he flew one out over into right field in his last at-bat. The 1-0. Johnson is going to ground that one foul to the left side. The count's even at 1 with 1 out and a runner on first. Kyle Johnson, a successful two-way player. He's working in the outfield this time around. Out of right as Johnson pulls back there. Can't find the ball is Som. And the Blue Devils are going to advance a runner to second. That's going to be a wild pitch from Lim. And that one just kind of hung around in front of Som, and Som couldn't find that one.
Yeah, Som looks behind it first, thinking that it might have popped over the shoulder with that big ricochet, but instead it stayed out in front. And great base running by Winslow, too. He read that all the way.
So Lim facing another dangerous situation with a runner in second, and Johnson,
whoa,
he's going to foul that one straight to the bullpen.
And it was caught by the bullpen catcher.
Good way to get some action in this one, as the sun now starts to peek out here in the top of the fourth. And the Blue Devils start to find the light and chip away here in this top of the fourth. Johnson facing an even 2-2. Lim throws back. To no avail, Winslow gets back.
The catcher's not going to steal third here. So I'm not sure why Lim is paying attention to him over there at second. You got 2 strikes on Johnson. Go attack.
He attacks on this 2-2.
Yep.
And that one right down the middle, curves in perfectly, and that catches Johnson looking. That's going to be the second out now in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, real good looking breaking ball there for Lim. Hard to believe that's his first strikeout of the afternoon, but certainly needed it there. And again, that's why I say, just focus on the guy at the plate, make the pitch you have to make, and if you do that, that runner at second's not going to go anywhere. He will stay right there, and you're going to have success, especially when you're going up against the bottom of the order.
So now moves to the top with Wallace Clark. He grounded out in his first at-bat. In his second one, though, he got a single off into left field. Clark, chopper, and great play is made at first. What a job by Tembo. He's able to get over the shortstop and make the put out at third, or at first, my apologies, 2-3. So it's a 6-3 put out, and the Cardinal hold a 4-1 lead, now advancing to the bottom of the fourth inning. Welcome to the bottom of the fourth inning. Timo Becerra is going to lead off for the Cardinal, the man who just made the great play at shortstop to help get the putout at first. Timo had a grounder in his first at-bat.
When Stanford was playing a little small ball in that second inning, he had Reynolds at first base, laid down a bunt. It worked, and Stanford wound up adding on 3 more runs at it.
Looking to bring that same success from the second inning into this bottom of the fourth. He's ahead on the count already with the 2-0. That's outside, it's 3-0.
And as of note, there is bullpen activity for Duke down the left field line. And Healy, you know, he's been, as we mentioned, he's been all over the place. Coming up on a season high in pitches as well.
He gets that one into the zone, so Healy stays alive in this first matchup, and he just reached his total high for the season.
It'll be on this one right here. He had 55 in his second start of the year.
That one doesn't bring too much good luck. Timo grounds that one right up the middle. Tough play to be made. And the leadoff runner on first. That was a missile of a grounder right down the middle.
And you saw Berger at second was playing near the bag, shaded up the middle. He was a little bit too far, tried to reach back, wasn't able to make the play. Leadoff single for the Cardinal, and 4 hits now against Healy. They've had runners on in every inning. We have not had a 1-2-3 inning yet in this game.
Have yet to find one to this point. Out to bat now is Charlie Bates. And one thing that's been a struggle for the Blue Devils in general this season, they have yet to shut out an opponent at all this season. It won't happen today either, as the Cardinal already got 4 up. That one another grounder, possible 2-ball situation. And can't get to first, but they do get the force out at second. So that's going to be a 4-6 put out, unable to get it over to 3 as well. So they trade runners at first, and 1 out now in the bottom of the fourth.
Took just a little bit too long to materialize. Clark at second base, he wasn't able to really put much on the throw, flat-footed, just kind of slung it across with his weight falling backwards. Allowed Bates, the speedy Bates, the only guy who's got any steals this year for the Cardinal, to hustle that one out.
I say that played a big factor as well. The speed from Bates kept it alive. That one is
But it hit Marsh in the box.
as they say, it did hit Mars. That was a possible 2-ball that stayed in play. You can see Bates doing everything possible to not let that one happen. He was rushing over to second. But he's going to have to move back. And it's a 1-0 count. Or 0-1 count, my apologies. For Marsh. Tatum Marsh, the freshman outfielder. Graduate of Valley Christian High School. Local to the Bay Area. Helped lead his team to 3 section titles in 2021, 2023, and 2024. As Healy pulls away from him and throws to first. Marsh facing a 1-1. The freshman has 8 RBIs on the year and 1 homer. That one goes way inside for ball 2. Tatum Marsh also the leader in doubles this season for the Cardinal, 4 already, as well as 2 triples. That time he gets under that one, and Tatum Marsh leaves the yard. The freshman makes his presence known here today, and the Cardinal take a 6-1 lead. Tatum tees off. Cardinals 6-1.
That ball was absolutely blasted by Tatum Marsh. I mean, we thought the Jimmy Natai one was a no-doubter, the line drive with how quick it went. But just watch this explosion from Tatum Marsh. Boom, quick hands right through the zone, and he knew it, man. That pitch leaked right into the sweet spot. He likes those inside, brought the hands in, and unleashed.
That was a smooth swing, too. It looked like they didn't even put too much on it. Natural strength from the freshman, and the top of the order comes up with only one out here in the bottom of the fourth, and still they're going to keep Healy in. Again, we mentioned before early in the game how the Blue Devils had a bullpen game. 6 pitchers they went through in the game on Friday. And they're trying to make Healy last as long as possible. He's going out to have a talk right now, Winslow, with Healy, trying to calm him down.
And we've just seen too many instances today for Healy where he has fallen behind in the count. And when you get down 2-0 and you're fighting the command like he is, the tendency for a pitcher is to then go, well, I'm going to try and just get one over. I'm going to get one right over the heart of the plate because I need to find it. But when you throw pitches right down the middle, you're going to put yourself in a situation where, look, the other team's going to start to tee off on you. They're not going to wait around on those 2-0s. They're going to start being aggressive when they get ahead in the count. You still have to make quality pitches. And it just hasn't been a day for Healy. It happens as a pitcher where you're just not able to make enough quality pitches.
It moves to Trevor Haskins in the top of the order. He's already in a 2-0. Haskins, also from Valley Christian, a senior though. As he watches that pitch go in for a strike, it's a 2-1 count. So a chance for the Valley Christian alums to make a big impact in this one. That one popped up, and that's going to sail high and caught. That hit got high enough, it touched the clouds. But it comes down right into left field, and 2 outs now in the bottom of the fourth. And that looks like it'll be the last we see of Healy. Not the outing that the starter would have liked to have had on this Saturday afternoon. The Blue Devils try to keep him in as long as possible. This will be the end of his outing here in the bottom of the fourth. So Healy, his final stats, he's going to get to 65 total pitch count, his highest of the year. 5 errors, 6 runs allowed. Not the greatest outing for the junior. As we now look, it's going to be number 51 out for the Blue Devils. Their next pitcher getting ready to go and trying to just keep them within striking distance at this point. It's going to be Max Stammel. 6'3" left-handed pitcher from Highland Park in Dallas, Texas.
And Stammel's had a lot of success early on out of the bullpen for the Blue Devils. Look at the numbers. 245 is the earned run average. 7 1/3 innings tossed, and opponents are hitting just 172 against the lefty. And you can see why he presents some difficulties for opposing hitters just with the way that he delivers the ball, where that release point is, right? So you see Healy going out there first, and you got more of a traditional left-handed release point. And now all of a sudden you got a bit of a sidewinder that's coming down at about a 2/3 arm slot. That's tough. It doesn't matter if you're a left-handed hitter or a right-handed hitter. That's a very tough angle and one you're not used to seeing.
Stammel rated number 19 for left-handed pitchers in the state of Texas. So the freshman's going to be put in a tough situation. Trying to help the Blue Devils work back into this one. It has now exploded in both the bottom of the second and the bottom of the fourth. You talked about the stat where the Blue Devils don't lose too many games where they get multiple hits in an inning. Or multiple runs, I should say. The Cardinal now have done that twice.
Yeah, crooked numbers often tell the story of a ball game, and Stanford, twice in this series now, they've had an inning in which they've scored 4 runs, and that's going to be really, really tough to overcome when on the other side your bats haven't found the same consistent rhythm that they've had all season long.
Brandon Larson is up to bat. He's going to watch that first one go outside for ball one. Brandon Larson, a little too disciplined there. As that gets to the edge for a strike. That's going to be the first strike for Stammel. Now Larson in his first at bat, he was hit by the pitch. This time, he grounds it and put out at first. So that's going to end the bottom of the fourth inning, but the damage has been done. The Cardinals extend their lead to 6-1, advancing to the fifth inning. Welcome back to the Sunken Diamond on the ACC Network. My name is Alejandro Flores. Brian, you want to take over?
Why not? It's a good game for Stanford fans right now. 6-1, the Cardinal up over the Duke Blue Devils. 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Stanford, and for Duke, 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. Good part of the lineup, though, for Duke due up to try and get something going offensively. They've had a lot of chances against Christian Lim, but they've left 6 runners on base through the first 4 innings. It's Berger, Miller, and Albright here in this inning against Christian Lim, who's flirted with disaster a lot of times today, but for the most part, he's been able to navigate his way through this Blue Devils lineup. And he's going to induce a soft pop-up right to Becerra at short, who's in 2 steps. He's got it. And a 1-pitch, 1-out start to the top of the 5th for the southpaw.
Just the way Lim likes it. Now, I think the biggest thing here, too, is the biggest storyline, at least, is the runners left on base for the Blue Devils. They did so again in the game on Friday. And it's really the same story so far on Saturday.
And neither pitcher has been able to get a 1-2-3 inning yet in this game. As Ben Miller is up and he watches the first one sail away. 1 ball and no strikes.
Lim already off to a good start to end that part right there.
He's had a handle on the hot-hitting Ben Miller. Miller's hitless in 2 tries so far. Backdoor breaking ball stays away. And Lim's a little bit frustrated, I think, with the call. He's not been able to get a lot of those pitches right on the edge of the plate. He's had to work his way in a little bit more. Here's a 2-0 to Miller. That's down low. Now it's 3-0.
And this is a dangerous 3-0 going against Miller, who's still looking for his first hit of the day. And this is the team leader in RBIs and home runs. You expect at some point the grad student is going to break through. Here it is in a 3-0.
That one catches the outside corner for a strike, 3-1.
That was a perfect pitch from Lim. Had to get it into the zone, but just on the perfect edge where it doesn't give Miller an excuse to swing.
3-1, chopper, left side. Behera in the hole from the outfield. Grass loads up, throws to first base. It was low. It went off the glove of Sasaki, and then I believe it hit Miller, which kept it over there at first base. So Becerra tried to load up from deep in the hole, wasn't able to get enough on it, and reaching base safely is Miller.
Lucky that hit Miller. Had that gone out of control, Miller was going to be able to take it to second as well. It just kind of died out there at the end. Yeah, just a throw a little too low, unable to be corralled at first.
So officially it will go in the books as an infield single for Miller, so he's got his second hit of the series. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Albright.
Second on the team in RBIs.
Albright's got the only ribby of the afternoon for Duke. And he watches the first pitch breaking ball snap in for a strike.
He's also first on the team in triples with 4 home runs as well. So he's someone who can definitely get extra bases off of a good hit.
Modest lead at first for Miller, and that one is lined down the right field line into the Stanford bullpen.
There's been a couple opposite field hits for the Blue Devils in this one that they have just unable to get into play. A lot of them have gone foul. If they can just try to squeeze it a little bit more in, those are dangerous hits that can start falling.
Limretti's an 0-2. Another one fouled off to the right side. Stanford trying to get its second ACC series win in as many weekends. A great introduction to the conference for the Cardinal. And they'll be back at home in ACC play next weekend against Cal. Still weird to say that. The 0-2 popped up on the right side of the infield. Sasaki, back behind first, was in foul territory. Now back into fair territory, stayed with it. A little bit of a breeze up there, but the freshman makes the play for out number 2.
You can tell by his expression as he caught that one, that didn't have the turn that he expected there at the tail end. But great concentration from Sasaki.
Brings up Jake Hyde, the first baseman. So a lot of early series for Stanford at home in ACC play. Yes, they did just go on the road to North Carolina. But you'll have this series and then 2 of the next 3 in conference play at home. Stanford will host Cal, then go to Virginia, and then host Georgia Tech.
And also in between there as well, between the Cal and Virginia series, that will play San Jose State. So Stanford gets to stay at home for a good while.
Yeah, and then even more so in April with just 1 road trip to Clemson and a grand total of 3 home series in conference play. The 0-1, Hyde lofts it back behind third base. Haskins drifting with it in foul territory, makes the catch, and the inning is over. So 3 pop-ups on the infield for Christian Lim in the 5th, and we're halfway through our ball game from Sunken Diamond at Stanford 6 and Duke 1. 3, 4, and 5 for Stanford, just past the midway point in our ball game. All Cardinals so far with a 6-1 lead. And Max Stammel back out there for his first full inning of work after he took over for Andrew Healy with 2 down in the 4th. So he'll be greeted with Rintaro Sasaki to open it up, a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Sasaki's been quiet here this afternoon, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. First pitch to Sasaki, fouls that one straight back and over the screen. As a whole, it's been a slow start to ACC play for Rintaro Sasaki. He was hitless in that North Carolina series, 0 for 10, and then he did have the base hit last night that scored a run, his first conference hit as a member of the Cardinal.
And Sasaki's had 2 unfortunate breaks so far in this one. Again, the first strikeout was due to a pitching clock violation, didn't get into the box in time. The second one was a grounder that he actually could have made to first, but his belief was that he got hit by the pitch. But that was the argument he was trying to make to the umpire as he was running over.
Everything has just been a little off for him today. Not off on that one! A no-doubter, the first Sasaki bomb on the farm! Are you kidding me? Sasaki Rintaro ga Daigaku Atsu Omoran! First one as a member of the Cardinal, and it's 7-1 Stanford.
Sooner or later, Sasaki was going to get his. Who would have thought it would have been right at that moment, right on cue? Sasaki answers. That one, no doubt about it, the biggest pop of the day so far. And the Cardinals have had 3 home runs now in total.
Seen a lot of baseball games here at Sunken Diamond. I don't know if I've seen one hit that far. I mean, it just has a different sound and a different feel when it comes off his bat.
Shades of Ohtani, man. This guy is a top dog. There's a reason why he hit so many back in high school. 140 career home runs. That is a Japanese high school record. It was only a matter of time before he translates that to the college game.
Now quickly 2-0 on Charlie Saab. I'm just still in disbelief. I mean, that thing was absolutely crushed. And we've made jokes about him potentially being able to put one in the swimming pool that's out there past the walkway in right field. That one was on its way. Saum breaks his bat on a 2-0 and still sends one a few paces shy of the track and left. Albright's there to make the catch.
Got it on the barrel, just a rough angle, and I think had he gotten that in a better spot, obviously it would have been a broken bat, but then second of all, too, I think that could have carried out of there. The power that he brought on that swing was good enough to go yard.
Yeah, if the bat doesn't break, he's got a good shot to go back-to-back, but rare to see one break in that spot. I mean, most of the barrel is intact. It was just right there on the hands. All he was left carrying was the knob. As Jimmy Natai makes his way up. Natai's homer today. That was a leadoff home run in the second. 2 leadoff home runs today for the Card.
Yeah, the 2 international players coming through on Saturday.
Natai from Australia, Sasaki from Japan. From the windup goes Stammel, and that one goes all the way to the backstop. Evens the count up at 1-1.
And this is where the freshman's going to start feeling a lot of pressure. Just gave up a home run to start the inning, and then facing the second at batter, that almost looked like that was going to go gone too. So he needs to find his rhythm again. Not let himself get his own head.
Ball and 2 strikes on Natai.
It's a good way to start as well. Get ahead of the count.
And here it is. Fouled back to the screen. So we'll do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stanford with home runs in the 2nd, 4th, and 5th innings here today. 4 home runs in the series. Putting on an impressive power display against one of the best home run hitting offenses in the country, as Stammel's going to get a strikeout looking of Jimmy Natai.
That's actually just a perfect pitch from Stammel. Got it right on the edge of the zone, so close that Natai just couldn't swing at that one. He believed that one was going to go outside of the zone for the call. And that's good for Stammel now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, he's been able to settle in after the home run.
Yeah.
Reynolds, though, says, I'm getting you out of rhythm. That's to right field into the corner. Get out of here, baseball. Brady Reynolds hooks it inside the foul pole in right field. It's the 2nd home run of the inning for Stanford. And it's a home run derby here on a Saturday afternoon. 8-1 Card.
These hitters got great timing with you as well. Every single time you mention something, they're ready to tee it off. What an outing for this Cardinal team. An impressive display of slugging. And what a different outlook this game is than the one on Friday where they had to mount back in that one. It was really late scoring in the 6th inning. This time, there's just no doubt about the dominance they're displaying in this one.
Team best 6th home run of the year for Reynolds as Becerra watches one go by. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 8-1 Stanford. Home runs from Natai, Marsh, Sasaki, and Reynolds. And it's now 2-0 on Becerra.
You know, that's a big thing going into the series. You know, we talked about how Duke is a big-time home run hitting team. But the Cardinal are ahead in the differential in home runs, plus 11 going into the series. They had 20 compared to the 9 allowed.
That one sent out to center field. Gracia drifting back, though. He's going to have a play on it a few steps in front of the track. Makes the catch, and the inning is over. Exclamation points for Stanford, including the first collegiate home run for Rintaro Sasaki. We head to the 6th, 8-1 Stanford. Top of inning number 6 here at Sunken Diamond. It's Stanford 8 and Duke 1. Stanford putting on a home run derby of sorts here today. 4 home runs in the first 5 innings, including the first collegiate blast for Rintaro Sasaki.
2 in the bottom of the 5th. Added 2 more to the score. And what an impressive display from the Cardinal going against a Blue Devils team who you'd expect to have a home run hitting game like this.
Here's their senior catcher, Andrew Yu, and he swings and misses at a Christian Lim changeup for a first pitch strike. Duke, as we've mentioned, 10th in the country in home runs, 2nd in the ACC in that department, but they have not left the yard yet in this series. Back-to-back changeups for Lim. He's ahead of Yu. It's 0-2.
And meanwhile, the Cardinal have had 5 already. 1 on Friday, 4 today.
You mentioned that differential in home runs for Stanford, plus 16 now, 25-9, as the third changeup is sent into left center field. Bates with a long run. He reaches up and he makes the catch out there on the track.
Great concentration by Bates. Didn't lose his stride while he still kept his eye on the ball. I mean, he tracked that one down like a receiver. Keeping his stride and showing the glove at the last moment to make the catch. So one thing that outfielders can make a mistake on is they run with their glove already out, and that makes them lose their stride, especially if they're trying to chase a ball. He's able to keep his stride and show the glove last second.
Here's A.J. Gracia, takes a first pitch strike from Lim. Gracia 0 for 2. He's bounced into a double play. He's also fouled out. That was the great sliding catch in left by Marsh. This one sent towards second. Natai slides to his left. And it's a 4-3 bounce out for out number 2. And we are potentially, Alejandro, 1 out away from our first 1-2-3 inning of the game.
Yes, you've been hyping this up throughout the entire game. Every single time that we've gone to break, he's mentioned we haven't had it yet. And Lim got very close. Knock on wood, of course. We don't want to jinx it here. He got very close in the last inning. These have so far been his 2 best innings here in the 6th and the 5th.
Yeah, and you mentioned that to me once we went off after the top of the 5th inning, that even though it wasn't a 1-2-3 frame, the 5th was his best inning yet, and I would say this one challenging it right now as he gets a first pitch foul ball off the bat of Macon Winslow.
Well, it's been very impressive too, because Lim hasn't been the smoothest game for him, right? He's only allowed 1 run, but he's faced some dangerous situations, hitting a couple by pitch as that one goes for a ball. And he's walked a couple batters as well. But as you mentioned as well, he faced kind of the same situation as Healy, but he made the pitches he needed to make and got out of the situations clean cut.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. Now it's 1-2, and he's been able to do what others, namely Andrew Healy, have not been able to do, and that was get better as the game's gone on. 1-2, stays high and tight. We finally have seen the measurables on the Rintaro Sasaki home run. It says 390 feet. I'd like to question that one. I think there maybe should have been a 490 on that instead. And 106 off the bat. That's a called third strike, though. Winslow's down on strikes. And the first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon for Christian Lim. 6 pretty strong innings when all is said and done. Halfway through the 6th, all card 8-1. Home half of the sixth. Don't fear the Reaper as Charlie Bates makes his way to the box. Stanford with an 8-1 lead. Max Stammel back out there. It's 8-9-1 for the Card. Bates, Marsh, and Haskins this time around. Bottom of the order's been productive for Stanford here today. Bates has been in the middle of all that. First pitch breaking ball misses outside. Bates has been aboard twice, officially 1 for 2. Reached on a single in the second, a fielder's choice in the fourth. He also has a stolen base. He's also scored twice.
Yeah, the speed of Bates has been the biggest factor for his success so far.
Popped up, foul territory behind third. Miller underneath it, camps out and make the catch. So Bates is retired for the first time today, and that brings up Tatum Marsh.
Last time Marsh was up to bat, the freshman sent it away. He got a second home run of the season in that bottom of the fourth inning. A lot of freshman success so far for the Cardinal today. You want to talk about Marsh, the freshman. You want to talk about Sasaki, the freshman.
First pitch in there for a strike to Marsh.
Bates, a freshman as well, who's just at the bat. I know he did just get a pop out into foul territory.
But that youth, if Coach Esker is able to retain it, as Marsh watches another strike, it's 0-2. If he's able to retain it, this could be a very special team, if not this season, but moving on to next year. Just 7 seniors on this year's team, so still a lot of youth out there. That's upstairs, and it's 1-2. And consider this, too, Alejandro. 13 wins for Stanford, and today's March 15th. It took Stanford until April 6th to get win number 13 last season. So everything's gelling together at the right pace for Stanford to come out of the gates hot and begin ACC play with a bang.
No kidding. And I mean, we talked about their start, right, to the season, 9-0 for the first time since the 2018 campaign where they went 10-0. And that was the first season under Esker as well.
Line drive into center field. Gracia's going to watch that one fall 2 steps in front of him. So a base hit for Marsh, and he's been aboard all 3 times today.
We're talking about that freshman success carrying over into the next seasons as well, but let's talk about right now. I mean, this is a team that is built to make a run to the College World Series. If it's a perfect mesh, it's that the fact that you have freshmen who are ready to play at a top level already, and then you have so many returners and veteran presence to match that as well.
So back to the top of the order and Trevor Haskins. Haskins 1 for 3 today. And Stammel's first offering. Tails away with a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes.
Reminder of the run rule as well. The Cardinal right now leading 8-1. If you lead by 10 after the 7th inning, that'll just end the game.
1-0. Outside, reaching for it is Winslow. Stanford, second time in ACC play that they've been able to score at least 8 runs. They had 13 in the series opener against North Carolina. Launched into shallow left center field. A trio of players going for it. Gracia is going to call everybody off in the triangle and make the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, just got a little too under that one. And that just hangs softly into the air as it comes down.
Brings up the designated hitter, Brandon Larson. Larson, a quiet Saturday afternoon. 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the first.
Yeah, Larson with a rough outing so far.
First one bends him out of the way, up and in.
Hit by a pitch, and then his most recent at bat, it was a grounder straight to first base, where he couldn't win the race against the pitcher to the bag.
1-0. Cranked down the right field line, but that will slice to the pen.
Just a little too early on that one. Great location, great read of the pitch. Just got a little too jumpy there. I think he got really excited when the fact that he felt like he read the pitch just right and got it right on the perfect spot.
Swing and a miss. Larson tied up on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Larson. Sasaki on deck. And instead of throw to first.
I think the freshman doesn't want to see Sasaki again. Not only was that a home run from Sasaki, but that was also just his best at-bat in general. Really patient with the pitches, read it well until he got the big one.
1-2, Larson chases. Went after a bit of a breaking ball that tailed away. Larson down on strikes, and the inning is over. Cardinal leave a runner stranded, and we're on to the 7th. 8-1 Stanford over Duke. Top of inning number 7 here on the farm. It's Stanford 8, Duke 1. And to tell you about the starting pitching change for the Cardinal, let's bring on Alejandro Flores for the next 2.
And we have just seen the end of Christian Lim. He goes 6 innings total. And what an outing for Lim, too, as he ended off really well. So now it goes from one sophomore to another. Ryan Speciak out at the mound. As a freshman, he had 17 appearances, including 5 starts, with a 7.53 ERA. Here makes an appearance late in this one in the 7th. And what an outing it was for the Cardinal in general. Not too many pitchers that they had to run through in this one.
Yeah, certainly good to get 6 innings out of Lim. Second day in a row you've been able to get 6 from your starter. That's always the goal.
Speciak, he's making his 5th appearance of this season, as his first pitch today goes for a ball.
I think what's more impressive, too, about it from Lim's perspective is he got better as the game went on.
So it's a sophomore versus a freshman. Speciak's already in a 2-0 count going up against Johnson. And Kyle Johnson, he's been struggling so far in this series, a 2-way. Had a fly ball and struck out. This one's another fly ball. Again to the same spot in right field. And the catch by Reynolds is made. So that's now 1 away in the top of the 7th. And a good start for Speciak.
Yeah, and Stanford's bullpen has been really good this season as a whole. They have not taken a loss this year. The bullpen 6-0. Of course, 6 come from behind wins for the Cardinal as well, helping out on that end. But the bullpen's been really solid, and I think that is such a change from what we saw last year, where there were a lot of unknowns in the back end of the bullpen for Coach Esker and the Stanford staff. And they didn't know who they were going to turn to on a day-to-day basis to get those outs late in games to, turn late leads into late wins. And this year, it's been a different story.
And that's actually been the struggle now for the Blue Devils this year. They have struggled with their entire bullpen and finding success that way. Speciak gets it into the middle for a strike. Makes the count 1-1. Grounder. Muffled a little bit, but still able to get the runner out at first. Bit questionable there for Natai. But he gets the 4-3 put out. And that's now 2 away in the top of the 7th. The fielding for the Cardinal has been very good in this one. Efficient. On the other hand, though, the Blue Devils, they've had a couple errors in that infield. You can tell by the mistake that they made in that second inning. It kept the inning alive. Then the throw home that went out of control. That allowed the Cardinal to get a run in.
Stanford's been a good defensive team so far. Just 12 errors this season.
They're 4th in fielding in the ACC with a 97 fielding percentage. They're not a team that will really shoot themselves in the foot. The 1-0. Going up against Berger. Is outside for 2-0. So Speciak now, despite having 2 away, has been getting behind on these counts so far. But the swings just haven't been going the way for the Blue Devils. That's another pop-up. Infield. Swiping the sky and cut. Trevor Haskins makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Speciak. So in a game where we did see a 1-2-3 inning for a while, we get two back-to-back for the Cardinal. Now moving to the bottom of the 7th with an 8-1 lead. Just got out of the 7-inning stretch here at the bottom of the 7th. And the Blue Devils have a new pitcher at the mound, Collins Black, the freshman. So they go from one freshman to another. Collins Black from Cary, North Carolina. 6'2", right-handed pitcher. At this point now, just trying to prevent the run rule.
Yeah, and a tough way to start if you're Collins Black, because you got to go up against Rentaro Sasaki first, who I'd say he made an impact in his last at-bat.
I think that's a safe way of putting it. Sasaki homered in his last at-bat. Out into right field, 390 was the distance, but we believe it went further. Just from our own eyes point of view.
Oh, it went further. But 106 off the bat. And that's the thing that we've seen with him so much this season is even though that was his first home run, he hits everything so hard.
We knew what he was capable of. That one goes hard and drops. Opposite field hit into left. And Sasaki on base to lead off.
And what's impressed me a lot about watching Sasaki here in his first season is that he doesn't just have pull side power. He can drive the ball to left field. We saw it in the first series against Fullerton where he hit one off the wall in left center field. Almost was his first collegiate home run. But he's got opposite field power. He's a smart hitter. He's not up there just trying to pull everything down the right field line. He will use line to line, and we saw it right there. Got one on the outer half, inside out swing, drops it in the left for a knock.
That's one thing you have to praise about the freshman, his discipline, his ability to read pitches and not get ahead of himself. Charlie saw him up to bat, fourth in the batting order. Sam has gone on base once due to a walk, but 0 for 2 outside of that. A fly out to left field. And a pop-up infield as well. Psalm did not move at all. That pitch very close to hitting him. Makes it a 1-1. Black versus Psalm for the first time, and Psalm disciplined there as that one goes low for ball 2. Cardinal have had a fantastic outing, 8-1 the score in the bottom of the 7th. The run rule is now something we have to discuss in play. If the Cardinal lead by 10 here, as we've now reached the 7th inning, they will just call the game. That pitch low into the zone for a strike, and that makes the count full at 3-2. The freshman facing a full count. Saw him, dribbler, out into right field, and that's a single for the Cardinal. Runners now on second and first.
And that's just some good hitting by a veteran guy in Charlie Song, right? You see that the right side of the infield is wide open with Berger playing near the bag at second base. So you get to a 3-2 spot. Yeah, that was right down the middle, but it was another one of those inside-out swings, and he's going to try and find the opening in the defense. He saw it right there through the right side, and all of a sudden Stanford 2 on, nobody out, a couple of opposite field singles to open up the inning.
And as we talked about, this team is a perfect mesh of freshman prodigies and veteran talent all come together to create the Cardinal team of 2025. Jimmy Natai, the junior now, from Sydney, Australia. Natai has a home run. He got in the second. And that also got the scoring started for the Cardinal in that second inning. Since then, though, he's been unable to get on base. Makes him 1 for 3 on the day. Natai pops that one up in foul territory, continues to hang and go into the dugout for the Cardinal. So luckily for Natai, he gets to stay alive in an 0-2. As that one just hung in the air forever. Again, looking ahead for the Cardinal. They'll host the next series against Cal Berkeley starting on the 21st of March. They then host a one-game matchup versus San Jose State here at home and then go on the road versus Virginia for another ACC matchup. Natai spoils that one foul off the left side. Not that I'm trying to manifest anything, but a home run from Natai will end this one.
The old walk-off home run for a 10-run lead. Yeah, in the 7th inning.
Something you expect to see in the college game, huh? As that one goes outside for a ball. So Natai in a 1-2. The Blue Devils looking ahead. They'll play a game versus UConn at home, and then they'll go on the road versus Virginia. As Natai watches that one go for a strike. Unfortunate for the Cardinal, Natai strikes out. And now coming up is Brady Reynolds, the sophomore.
That was pain. Knee-high fastball, and Natai thought it was a little bit low, but it'll end up the second time that he's got the backwards K today.
So the Duke Blue Devils will play Virginia first. And kind of seeing how that series go might be a tell for how the Cardinal handle that one towards the end of the month. After that, they then host East Carolina back at home. Blue Devils 12-7 overall, 2-2 in the ACC conference. Right now, the way this is looking, 2-3. Very possible. That one had a sound off of the bat, but that's going to go foul. Makes the count 1-1. As Reynolds got that one just on the edge of the bat. And it hung high for a foul. Brady Reynolds was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat in the second inning, had a home run in the 5th. It's 8-1, 2-1 for Reynolds. Swing and a miss, and that evens it up at 2-2.
Great changeup right there from Collins Black.
The freshman getting some experience here late in this one. Hasn't had too many appearances this season. Only 3 so far. 1 versus California, 1 versus Cornell, and 1 versus Cincinnati. This makes it his 4th versus the Cardinal. And that goes outside for ball 3. It's a full count. So a runner on second and first. Brady Reynolds has a chance with a full count. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Collins Black in this inning. And the freshman, despite letting 2 runners get on base, has tuned up since.
Yeah, he's battled back well after those 2 really good swings by Sasaki and Somm to open up the frame. Got the looking strikeout of Natai with some paint right at the knees, and then coming back there, a couple of really good changeups late in that at-bat against Reynolds when he was thinking fastball.
Timo up to bat. Senior from Clovis, California. That paints the bottom of the zone for a strike. Becerra batting at a 339 on the year. That's going to decline just a little bit as that one goes straight to third. Ben Miller makes the catch, and that's going to put an end to the 7th inning. The Cardinals still holding an 8-1 lead as we advance to the top of the 8th. Welcome back to the Sunken Diamond here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. The Cardinal dominating so far, 8-1 the score. As we approach the top of the 8th inning, the Blue Devils have struggled mightily. 4 hits on the day, a lot of runners though left on base, unable to capitalize in big situations. And the Cardinals so far have only gone through 2 pitchers to this moment. Up to bat to lead off, third in the batting order is Ben Miller, the grad student. Has 1 hit today, got it in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. Struggled overall in the series. And the leading home run hitter for the Blue Devils. It's going to be the first time, though, he's going against Speciak. And Ryan Speciak just came off of a 1-2-3 inning in his arrival at the top of the 7th inning. Speciak at a pitch count of 11. The 1-1 to Miller. And that is roped into center field and right to center field perfectly. For the catch is Charlie Bates. Charlie Bates with the putout at center. And the Cardinal 1 away now in the top of the 8th. Speciak, every single hitter he's faced, he's put away. Now here comes Tyler Albright. Second on the team in batting average. First on the team in triples. As Albright pulls back, and that goes in for a strike. The Blue Devils trying to defend their ACC title last season as Albright fouls that one back. They were 16-14 in the ACC last season and made a run in the tournament to win the conference.
Part of a lot of recent success in this program, 79 wins over the last 2 years. They're knocking on the door of getting to Omaha. This is a really, really good team.
And then meanwhile, we're talking about the Cardinals. That one, Speciak caught him looking. A strikeout. And 2 put away now in the top of the 8th. Meanwhile, we're talking about a Cardinal team That's looking to get back to the College World Series. They had appearances in 2021, 2022, and 2023, and then struggled in 2024, looking to get back on track. The last time the Cardinal won a national championship was 1988. They have been close. Can they get the job done this year? Is this the team to do so?
I mean,
a great start.
It's so hard to win the national championship in baseball. It's probably one of the most difficult playoff formats there is.
As that one knocked high into right center field, and that's going to go off of the wall. High is going to turn 2 for a double. And Speciak is not going to have another 1-2-3 inning. Hyde is the one that spoils that.
Yeah, sat back on that fastball and showed off some pretty good opposite field power, splitting the gap out there in left center field, just shy of the warning track out there. And for Hyde, he's the first Blue Devil to reach base since the 5th inning. It had been 10 in a row set down by the combination of Lim and Speciak.
Andrew Yu up to bat. 0 for 2 on the day and also got hit by a pitch in the second. Still an 8-1 game, with the runner now on second with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. We are in full miracle territory for the Blue Devils. Just 4 outs away from losing control of the series. There is still going to be one more matchup tomorrow on Sunday. If the Cardinal win this one, with the win on Friday as well, they win the series. The 0-1, check swing. He swung, and it's an 0-2.
Great pitch by Speciak, and that's been the key for him and his success that he's had out of the pen here this afternoon. He's been getting ahead of these guys routinely. We've seen a lot of 0-1s, a lot of 0-2s.
Speciak with a strikeout. Hello to you, Ryan Speciak. 7 batters faced, 6 put away by his control. And the Cardinal hold their 8-1 lead, now moving to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom half of the 8th inning here in the Sunken Diamond, and the Blue Devils turn to another freshman at the mound, Bryce Brannon. The freshman right-handed pitcher now comes in, and he's going to face Charlie Bates first to lead off. 8th in the batting order, so the batting order will turn over in this inning, back to the top. And really a main key to the success for the Cardinal today is their success in the bottom of the order.
Yeah, these guys down here have been instrumental in setting the table and getting a lot of these crooked numbers started. I mean, Bates has scored twice, Marsh has scored twice, and those guys combined have been on board 5 times in 6 trips to the plate.
As Bates pops that one up into foul territory, running it down and can't get there in time is Albright. So the count's going to be 1-1.
It's all about the length of this Stanford lineup, and that's what has made it so dangerous here this season. 7 of the 9 guys in the lineup this afternoon with averages over 300. So there's really no spot in the order for Stanford that's a weakness, because whether you're talking the first couple of guys or the last couple of guys and everybody in between, there's always somebody who can hurt you.
Bates definitely someone who can hurt you in a 1-1. Inside, they're going to check if he swung, and he did. Bates couldn't pull back in time, so that makes the count 1-2. Just a little aggressive off of that one. And you can see the rotation here in the field for the Blue Devils. Third base left all alone. 3 Blue Devils now over to the right side. And Bates chops it over to that right side foul.
Yeah, and it's been that way all afternoon where they'll send Berger, the third baseman, out towards that second base spot. That's my favorite, is when it winds up being a ground out to that guy and it still goes as a 5-3, even though he's on the right side.
one of the flaws with the statistics. That one grounding right to third and needing no help at all. That's going to be Jake Hyde who gets to put out at third. Getting to the bag first, now one away in the bottom of the eighth.
Right, you look at it in the book and you go, oh yeah, so he grounded out to the left side of the infield. Well, no, he actually grounded out to the right side, but when you put the third baseman all the way over there, that's just how it goes.
It's got to call it like how we see it. The third baseman to a first baseman. Now to bat is Tatum Marsh, the freshman. What an outing for the freshman today. 2 for 2 on the day, hit by a pitch in the second, home run in the fourth, and a single in the sixth. The local kid from Valley Christian watches that first pitch strike the edge of the zone for a strike. It's a 0-1 count for Marsh. That one going low and out of control into the dirt. And it evens it up at 1-1. Bryce Brannon from Mason, Ohio. The 9th overall prospect in his state. That one again to the dirt, making it 2-1. Brannon has only made one appearance to this point in the loss versus Cincinnati back on the 16th of February. Pitched just 1 inning, allowed 2 hits and a run. Same spot again, ball 3, and a 3-1 count. Again, facing a hitter who's in a flow state right now in Marsh. Tatum pulls back as that goes into the zone for a strike. The count's full. Marsh, little chopper, and put out at first. Nice play made by Clark to Hyde, and that's going to make it a 6-3 putout.
Important moments for guys like Bryce Brannon at this stage in the ball game. Yeah, it's 8-1, and barring a tremendous comeback in the 9th, the outcome is pretty much in tow. But this is where you want to develop some of these guys to be valuable contributors to your bullpen, if not in the years to come, but certainly in the back half of the 2025 season.
It's Trevor Haskins up to bat. That pitch goes high from Brannon. So now at the top of the order are the Cardinal. And, we talk so much about the bottom of the order, but this is where it gets dangerous when you have these big-time hitters at the top. Haskins disciplined as he watches that one go for a ball. And the top of the order for today's game was Trevor Haskin, Brandon Larson, and then Rintaro Sasaki. That resulted in a powerful 1-2-3 punch for the Cardinal to lead off. 2-1 the count. Haskins. Good eye as that one goes for ball 3. And Haskins is going to follow up after Marsh. My apologies, following up after Marsh. He's facing a full count. Already 2 put away in the bottom of the 8th. He knocks that one foul. Got a lot of power under that one, but just too far right. So approaching pitch 18 upcoming for Brannon. Already put 2 away. It's 8-1 Haskins. And that's going to be a grounder that gets through. Trevor Haskins with his second hit of the day. That's going to make him 2 for 4.
Great swing and a great battle there by Trevor Haskins after the count went full. Pulled the hands in. That whole at bat, it was a lot of away, and then that one coming back in over the inner half of the plate. Haskins' second hit of the afternoon and just continues to keep the line moving for Stanford.
It now moves to Brandon Larson, the junior first baseman, up to bat. And Larson, the designated hitter today. Discipline on that one for ball one. Larson has yet to get a hit off today. He was hit by a pitch in the first, and he finds almost his first. That was close to the line, but called off. I think from my point of view, I thought that was a hit. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I was right there with you. I thought that one was kind of right on top of the line. I don't know if we have an angle of it that'll be any better, but man, that one was, it had to have been an inch away, maybe less than an inch away from being fair.
That was a close one. Opportunity for Larson to get his first hit of the day. And a close call takes it back. He's going to face a 1-1. Those have to be a little frustrating as a hitter when you have one that's so close like that. And you have to go back to the plate and work again.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have enough of those when I played, but I do know the feeling.
The 1-1. And Larson doesn't try to get it back in one swing. He holds off, and that's a 2-1 count. The Blue Devils defense rotating 3 over to the right side in the infield. As Larson watches that one go for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner on first. So the deuces wild pitch upcoming for Brandon. Larson is hit by the pitch. So Larson gets on base anyways. He'll go to first, advancing to second as Haskins, and up to the plate is Rintaro Sasaki. The freshman star, as you can tell, he was hit right there on the inside part of the foot. You know, in a 3-2 count like that, you'd rather just have a ball. Don't like getting hit by the pitch at that point.
Don't need that one to run in and hit you, but the second time he's reached base that way today, and we'll see if Duke's going to the pen or not here. They do have someone warming up. And as you've mentioned already a couple of times, you know, this is a situation where one swing of the bat and you could end the game right here.
And with someone like Rintaro Sasaki, who already has 1 home run on the day.
I mean, why not, right?
That is very much possible now.
Like, why not? We've already seen him get one, and I have this sneaky suspicion that once he got that first one out of the way, you're going to start to see him really start to unload on a few, as we have a runner over at first base for the Card. That's going to be Brett Blair. Yep.
The pinch runner for the Cardinals, senior from Gainesville, Florida. Made 3 appearances so far to this point. Now this is his 4th. Again, as you mentioned, Sasaki getting his first today. It can almost be a situation where now he can finally breathe. He doesn't have that pressure on himself anymore. Let's see what that brings for the rest of his outing. He did get a single in his next at-bat in the 7th.
That's why his composure has been so impressive for a freshman. You know the expectations are there, but to manage all that, it's tough to do.
Sasaki! High drive! Right field! Ball game! The freshman makes his statement today, and Rintaro Sasaki ends the game with a moonshot.
This guy's something, man. I mean, you could just see him pull those hands in and explode, and look at the celebration at home plate by his teammates, man. It's been a long time coming. I don't think a lot of people thought it would take until March 15th for his first, but guess what? He's going to get dumped with the Gatorade, and why not? 2 home runs on the day. and a 3-run shot to end it.
Well, I guess you could say it was well worth the wait for Sasaki. What an outing for the freshman. He started off a little rough early in the game, struck out, grounder in the 3rd, and then followed that in the 5th with a home run, a single in the 7th, and then a 3-run homer to end this one as the freshman lets the NCAA know that he has arrived. The Stanford Cardinal make a big-time statement versus the Duke Blue Devils 11-1. What an outing as we look forward to Sunday.
Yeah, just a fantastic offensive showing for Stanford. And again, the crooked numbers tell the story, right? I mean, they had the 4 spot in yesterday's game, and then they come out today and they only score in 4 innings. But guess what? They got 4, 2, 2, and 3 on the board, and using the long ball, man. It's something that they have just been dynamite on all season long. 15 games in a row, or 16 games in a row with a home run. And coming out in this one with 5 home runs, 2 from Sasaki. We saw them all over the order, right? We saw the 9th place guy, Tatum Marsh, with a home run. So it's not just one guy getting it done. Really just a team effort from Stanford on offense. And what a start to ACC play, right? They've got 2 ACC series, and they got 2 wins out of it.
Now 4-1 in the ACC with their most dominating win so far in the ACC. 11-1 over the Duke Blue Devils. One more game on Sunday, but the Cardinal have now won the series. Brian, I want to thank you for being in the booth with me. And thank you guys all for joining us on the ACC Network. My name is Alejandro Flores, and hope you all have an amazing weekend. Deucios.